Right. So today we're going to take a deep dive into, a new character in the Tri-Universe, Moreno Marconi.
Right.
And we're going to get to see him soon in this musical film, The Amazon, which I am super excited about.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But we have this really cool opportunity now to, really look into, who he is before the film even comes out.
Exactly. And that's what's so cool about this particular deep dive is we have, Moreno's actual introduction on the website and a little bit of a bio.
Yeah. So we have first person and third person takes on him, which is really awesome.
Yeah. So we can really get a feel for it.
Yeah. Who is this guy? What's he all about?
Yeah. Who is he? What's he up to? What makes him interesting?
Yeah.
What's he going to bring to this world?
Right, exactly.
Like we all love.
Yes. And I think one of the things that's so interesting to me right off the bat is that he is a pizza chef.
He is.
At his family's pizza restaurant. Moreno's Pizza.
Yes.
Which I love.
It's a classic.
Family business.
I love that it's like a family business.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's immediately endearing.
It is, it is.
And he's 30 years old.
Yeah.
Italian-American.
Yep.
And getting ready to step into the leadership role in the next few years.
Take over the family business.
Yes. And he's engaged to Penny.
Yes.
Which we'll get into more later, but
we will.
He just seems so excited about this next chapter.
Yes. And that's what's so compelling right in the start is that you get this sense of optimism and excitement about the future, and particularly about this idea of family legacy and carrying on this tradition.
Right. And commitment.
Yes.
He seems like such a committed guy.
Absolutely.
But the thing that's really funny to me is that he says that being a pizza chef wasn't like his childhood dream.
Right.
Because he grew up around it all the time.
Yeah, you can kind of understand that, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. If you're just constantly immersed in something, it's not as shiny and new.
Totally. It's I just want to get away from this.
Right, exactly.
It's this is too much pizza.
Yeah.
But now he's come to really appreciate it.
Yes, he's found a real appreciation for it.
The joy it brings people.
Yes. And it's interesting because that's sort of the contentment that he talks about is finding this path that maybe wasn't what he envisioned originally, but realizing that there's so much satisfaction to be had in it.
Right. And I love that. I think that's so true for so many of us, right?
Absolutely. I think it's a very relatable aspect of his character.
How often do we end up on the path that we thought we were going to be on?
Right.
Yeah.
And how often do we discover something that brings us joy that we never would have anticipated?
Exactly. And I think that's a great takeaway for the listeners too.
Yeah. I think there's a real message there about being open to, sort of the twists and turns.
Absolutely. Life throws your way.
Yes. And being able to find joy in unexpected places.
In the unexpected.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think, too, it's interesting that he did have, artistic aspirations as a kid.
Yes.
He wanted to be an artist and an entertainer.
He did.
So it's that part of him is still there.
Absolutely.
But it's now being expressed through pizza.
Yes, through the culinary arts.
Yes, through the culinary arts, which is so fascinating to me.
It is. It's fascinating. And I think it kind of speaks to this idea that creativity can manifest in so many different ways.
Yeah, you don't have to be a painter or a singer, to be creative.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting, too, because he talks about how that artistic drive now fuels his creativity in the kitchen.
Yes.
So it's not like he's abandoned that part of himself.
Right.
It's just found a new outlet.
Yes, and a new way to express itself.
Exactly.
And I think...
we're going to see how that plays out in the Amazon.
Yes, we will.
How
does that artistic sensibility...
Right, is he going to be
Right, is that going to be part of his character?
Yeah.
It's going to come through in the film?
Yeah, how musical is he?
Yeah,
that is that.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing.
Break out into song while he's tossing pizza dough.
Right. We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm also really curious to know more about his everyday life.
Yeah.
So he works at the pizzeria. He likes to play football with his friends.
Yeah, a little bit of friendly competition.
Yeah.
A little exercise.
And he likes to watch movies with Penny after work.
Just relaxing.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
Yeah, it paints this picture of a very balanced, well-rounded life.
Yeah.
Like
a normal dude.
Yeah. He's working hard. He's got his hobbies.
Yeah.
He's got his relationship.
Totally. It's a good life.
Yeah.
And I think it also speaks to, like,
Yeah.
his connection to community.
Yes.
Right? Like playing football with friends,
Yeah.
spending time with his fiance.
Yeah.
It suggests that he values those relationships.
Totally.
Yeah.
But now I want to get into
Okay.
this new thing that's happening.
Yes.
He's blogging
Yes.
on the professionals.
Yes. Which is very exciting.
I know. How did this even happen?
Right. So it's funny how this came about.
Yeah.
Apparently, his father received this invitation to blog.
Oh, really?
Like a very, formal invitation.
Okay.
And wasn't interested.
Yeah.
And so Moreno, with the encouragement of his father and Penny,
That's so sweet.
decided to give it a shot.
Oh, what?
So it wasn't something that he had, like, aspired to his whole life.
Yeah.
But it was an opportunity that presented itself, and he took it.
Right. And I think that also speaks to his character.
It does.
Like, he's open.
Yeah. To trying new things.
Exactly.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, it suggests a certain level of, like, adventurousness and a willingness to step outside of his comfort zone.
Totally, yeah. And it's like he's not afraid to try something new.
Right.
So I respect that a lot.
Absolutely. And I'm curious to see what he does with it.
Yeah, me too.
I know what kind of voice he develops as a blogger.
Totally. And I think what's really interesting is that he's not just blogging about pizza.
Right.
Which I feel like you would expect.
You would think.
Like, oh, pizza chef.
Yeah, pizza blog.
He's going to blog about pizza.
Exactly. But he's also...
But he's going broader.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's going to give tips for young adult life.
Yeah, which I think is so smart.
Yes.
Because he's got a lot of experience.
He's lived,
He'd been there.
He's been there, done that.
Yeah.
And then also just like appreciating everyday moments.
Yes.
Which I love.
Just a good reminder for all of us.
It is.
Right.
To take a moment.
Yeah.
Appreciate the little things.
And it seems very authentic to him.
It does. It's not like
he's trying to be something he's not.
Right. Yeah. It's just like it's
very genuine.
Yes. This is who I am.
Yeah.
This is what I'm into.
And it's a mix, right? It's a mix of different things.
It's like a good mix.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Right.
Nobody's just one thing.
Exactly.
We all contain multitudes, as they say.
Yeah.
So I think it's a smart approach to blogging.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm really curious to read it.
Thank you.
But I also want to go a little deeper into his personality and his relationships.
Let's do it.
So the bio mentions that he's extremely motivated.
Yes.
And competitive.
Very competitive.
Which I think we see
you do
in a lot of these tri-universe characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of striving and ambition in this world.
But it's interesting that with him, it stems in part from a need to please others.
It's interesting, right?
Yes.
Because it's not entirely self-generated.
Right. It's not just I want to be the best.
It's not just pure ego.
Right.
It's also about meeting the expectations of others.
Which is really interesting.
It is, and it makes you wonder, what are those expectations?
Right.
Who is he trying to please?
Yeah, where does that come from?
Right.
Is that from his parents? Is that from Penny?
Exactly. Yeah. And how does that affect his choices?
Right. How does that affect his decisions?
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to unpack there.
There is.
Yeah.
And it also mentions that he played football and was on the track and field team in school.
Right. So very athletic.
Yes.
Which kind of tracks with that competitive spirit.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's he's always been that guy.
He's always been driven to achieve.
But then we get to his relationship with Penny.
And I find this so...
It's a very sweet love story.
Sweet and interesting.
Yeah.
So it sounds like before Penny, he was...
He was popular?
Mr. Popular?
Yeah, he had his share of romantic encounters.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
But then he met Penny.
And everything changed.
Right. He calls her the love of his life.
He does.
And they got engaged after only a year.
So clearly...
Wow.
There was a strong connection.
Yeah, a very strong connection.
Right from the start.
And they seem so happy.
They do.
And what I think is really interesting is that Penny had kind of a difficult childhood.
Yeah, she did.
She was in and out of foster homes.
Yeah, she experienced a lot of instability growing up.
So for her to find stability with Moreno in his family.
With this loving, supportive family.
It's just so...
Yeah, it's really heartwarming. I think it speaks to the power of family and the importance of having those strong bonds.
Yeah. But it's interesting because Penny's very ambitious.
She is.
She has big plans.
Yes.
For the family business.
She wants to expand.
Yeah.
She wants to turn it into a worldwide franchise.
A worldwide franchise.
Moreno's Pizza everywhere.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But Moreno, it sounds like, is happy with where he's at.
He seems content
Yeah.
with the current state of things.
He doesn't necessarily want to be like
Oh, sure.
a business mogul.
Yeah, he's not necessarily driven
Right.
by that same level of ambition.
Right. He would rather
He'd rather travel.
travel. Yeah. Spend time with loved ones.
Yeah, enjoy life.
Enjoy life,
Yeah, have a little more balance.
which I think is interesting
It is.
because it's like, do their dreams for the future
Right.
align?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that they're probably going to have to navigate as a
Yeah, it's like, how do you...
Yeah, how do you reconcile
Right.
those different visions for
Yeah.
the future?
And I feel like
Yeah.
so many couples can relate to that.
I think it's a very common
Yeah.
challenge in relationships.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
how do you support each other's dreams
Right.
while also staying true
Yeah.
to your
And
own?
finding that balance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Finding that compromise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's going to be a really interesting
Right.
aspect of their story.
Yes. And I can't wait to see how it plays out
Me neither.
in the Amazon.
Me neither.
So to kind of recap, like,
Okay.
everything that we've talked about today,
Yeah.
Moreno Marconi.
Yeah.
He's a 30-year-old Italian-American pizza chef
Yes.
who's getting ready to take over the family business.
Yes.
He's engaged to Penny.
Yeah.
They seem very much in love.
They do.
He's got this like creative, artistic side
Yes.
that he's now channeling through pizza making.
Through his culinary creations.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's recently started blogging,
He has.
which is really cool.
Crazy.
And it's really interesting to me
Yeah.
that he's choosing to share
Right.
not just about pizza,
Right.
but also about life.
Yeah. About life in general.
Yeah.
About his experiences.
And his insights
Yeah.
and his perspective.
Exactly.
And I think that's really valuable.
I think so too. And
It gives us a lot to look forward to with
Yeah.
the Amazon.
yeah, it makes you really want to
Yeah.
get to know him.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you root for him.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, some of it.
So I guess like the final thought that I would leave
Yeah.
our listeners with is
Yeah.
like, how is Moreno going to
Uh-huh.
use his creativity and his experiences
Yeah.
in this film?
Yeah. How's it all going to come together?
Yeah. And then also like, how are he and Penny
Yeah.
going to figure out the
Yeah.
whole like future thing?
Right.
Where are they going?
Make your different dreams.
Right.
Are they going to make it work?
Yeah, like how do you
Yeah.
find that compromise?
Yeah. It's a big question.
Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
big question.
And I don't think there's an easy answer,
No,
you know?
but it's something that,
But it's something to think about.
yes, it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah. And as you watch the film,
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
Yes, keep that in mind.
Yeah. Pay attention to how they
Yeah.
navigate that,
Yes.
because I think it's going to be
Right, you
a
have to-
key part of their story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was Moreno Marconi.
That was Moreno.
I can't wait to see what happens
Oh, you too.
in the Amazon.
Can't wait.
Okay, we'll see you guys next time.
See you later.